on the Snow Show. We are going live to the hill where Jim Brewington joins us. Jim, how are you? Tell us what you're doing right now.
Good morning, Ryan. Yeah, I'm here at Lake Louise in the base area right now. We're going to have our second training run for the ladies downhill today at Lake Louise. So right now I'm in the base area, but we were up on the lifts first thing this morning inspecting the course, and all is good for another great training run today at Lake Louise.
Good, good. A little chilly this morning in Calgary. How's she out in the mountains?
Yeah, it was about minus 10, 11 in the base here this morning, and that's good for ski racing. It's been awfully warm this fall, which has presented some challenges for us, but now the weather settled into that typical winter pattern of minus 10, minus 12, and that sort of thing. It's great weather for ski racing.
Yeah, and apparently that cold weather is what you need for racing more than any other kind of skiing. It's that hard, like really compact base, correct?
Right. I mean, the racers are going upwards of 100 kilometers an hour, and when they press hard on their ski to make a turn, they're looking for feedback, not a mushy feeling of soft snow. So
Sure.
the harder the better for sure when you're a racer. Not for you and I, maybe, but for racers, yes.
Yes, and we're joined by Jim Brewington. Now, what your title? Are you the chief of race, the head honcho,
Right.
the boss man?
Yeah,
what do they call you?
I'm the chief of race here at Lake Louise, about my 8th year now of being in this role. Really what that means is I head up a contingent of over 200 volunteers that are out here helping stage the race. So, it's a great thing to be involved with, and I'm enjoying it very much once again this year.
Yes, the Lake Louise Alpine World Cup this week, the training, and this weekend the races. It's the Women's World Cup. Training's already undergone. What do we know about the Canadian contingent?
Right. So we had a training run yesterday. I should mention the winners of the training run were Laura Gutz from Switzerland. Katja Kling was in second place. She's Swedish, and our Austrian Miriam Kutschner was in third place. Canadians, a young team, a developing team, had a good day, but somewhat further down in the ranks. Valerie Grenier finished 45th, Michaela Tommy at 61st, Stephanie Fleckenstein in her very first World Cup at 63, and in 65th place, Candace Crawford. Those are the Canadians in the race. There were 66 competitors yesterday, Ryan, in the training run, which is very similar to a race. It's essentially the race. It doesn't count for points, but speeds are the same. It's really a dress rehearsal for the real thing on Friday.
Yeah, of course. Get to know the course and see what you need to work on, how the skis feel, and all that stuff. As for the races themselves, 2 downhills and a Super G? Is that right?
Right. We have a downhill Friday, another downhill on Saturday, which is pretty unique on the World Cup circuit to have back-to-back downhills in any either the men or the ladies. And then on Sunday we lower the start somewhat, throw a few more turns in there, and it's a Super G, very high speed still, but a little turnier than the downhill. That's our Sunday race. So 3 races here at Lake Louise upcoming.
And apparently the great news is free for spectators. If anyone wants to come up and see the best ski racing women on earth, they're right here, and it's free. And kids actually get to ski for free on race day. How good is that?
You bet. That's a great opportunity for families to come up and enjoy the festivities in the finish area. Watch the races. We've got a Jumbotron. You can see the race live from the various sections when you're in the finish area. So we're expecting some great spectator attendance here. The skiing conditions are great at Lake Louise, and you're right, kids ski free Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Now, tell me, the men's had to be canceled, which is a shame. It seemed like the weather was going the right way, but they do need a certain amount of time before the event start. That leeway to say, okay, is everyone coming or not, is far enough ahead that they couldn't say yes. Do you think if they had, just been able to postpone that decision, that things would have gone off without a hitch? Would the weather have cooperated in hindsight?
Yeah, unfortunately, Ryan, first time in about, I guess it was 29 years, we had to cancel the men's race. The decision called snow control was delayed by several days, so we could see if we had the cold temperatures for artificial snowmaking. Unfortunately, Mother Nature just wasn't with us this year, and we did have to cancel the men's races, which was a great disappointment to everyone, the athletes, the coaches. Everybody loves coming to Lake Louise on the World Cup circuit. And, of course, our volunteers who come from really worldwide to help us put on this race. They built the course. We did as much as we could, but ultimately the lower section was not skiable. It would not have been a safe track for the racers, so we had to cancel.
Well, at least you got a great setup for this weekend, for sure.
You bet, yeah. We're pleased to be racing now with the ladies. It's going to be awesome.
And for just a little more background, I mean, this isn't okay, let's throw a few poles in the ground, away we go. You guys work on this for a long time before the racers even get there to start their training. Maybe give us a timeline on where your work begins with this massive crew of volunteers that you've noted ahead of the race. I mean, you're probably talking weeks, not days, right?
Yeah, weeks. I mean, for some of us, a bit of a year-round endeavor in terms of the planning. But as far as the Lake Louise activation goes, we have a group of guys called the Net Monkeys, and they show up October 1st. And the world-famous Net Monkeys are a group of guys, and they are really our high-safety experts. So we have a lot of what we call A-nets here. It's very high netting that's all suspended from towers, a bit like setting up for a circus, you know. And these guys are the high-safety experts. So they are here as of October 1st, working hard before any of the volunteers show up, which is really only about a week before race time. So lots of setup time, and of course, everything that goes up has to come down. So we end up tearing down what we set up right through Christmas and into the new year, and then we can give the racetrack back to the Lake Louise ski area, and the public can ski on the downhill run once we've left.
Well, unreal. Day 2 of training. They'll do it again tomorrow for the downhill training, and then the real action begins Friday, December 2nd, 12:30 Mountain Time. Ladies downhill 1. Saturday, the same time, 12:30 for the second downhill, and then Sunday, the ladies Super G at 11 a.m. A pleasure catching up with you, Jim. I hope one day they'll have a nickname for what I do for a living as good as a net monkey. That's pretty. I like
you, Ryan. Yeah, you bet. Awesome talking to you. Thanks for this.
All right, there's Jim Brewington, the chief of race at Lake Louise, race chief for what would have been the men's and the women's, but just the women's this year with just a little too warm. And it wasn't even a slow start to the season. It was a really good start, but then it got warm. And as he said, you want really, really hard and cold for the bottom for anywhere on the ski hill, and they just couldn't do it at the bottom where it was a little warm. That nice little run of weather for a couple weeks there derailed the progress at the very bottom of the hill, but enough to cancel the men's, which is a shame. And good thing we got some weather now, and he says perfect race conditions. -10, -11 at the base today. And again, kids ski free Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That is awesome. Get to Lake Louise. If you're watching the event, that's free as well. Again, 12:30 the downhill start times Friday, Saturday, 11 a.m. on Sunday for the Super G. There's your snow show for Lou.